student have heard this presentation before. So it's not saying that I'm an expert in social science. I'm just saying that this is our experience dealing with students in the field of social science. The idea of the presentations, it was started with the myth. There's a myth in social science studies. Most of the people thought that social science research will take longer times. 5 years for masters, some of them 7 years. But strangely, that some of our students will finish within the time. Some of them are finishing in one year, maximum 1.5 years for masters. For PhD, some of them finish in 2.5 years, some of them finish in 3 years. So there is a question, and I was at UKM, there's a question, can you share some of the tips? So that was the starting point of this presentation. So I was giving some lectures, so just sharing some of the tips. It's not so-called opinion from the expert, it's just an experience that you guys share. What we are doing when students are starting their research. That's why the title was the starting a research in social science field. So it's very basics and very straight to the point. It's not so much on philosophical approach, etc. Okay, next. The outline of today's presentations, there are 7 things that I would like to discuss today. One is why we have research. The first question that we asked, that was the first question that we need to ask ourselves. How to start research? Next one, what's the topic that you're going to choose after you do certain preliminary discussions? The categories of social science research, as far as we know, limited to what we experience. Purpose of the research, what's the purpose of social science research? And how to do the research in the detailed manner. Then the most important question after that is what we are going to do after your postgraduate studies. Okay, next. Why if we do research? Some people might this is the answer that we receive. When I ask my student, sometimes my supervisor asks his students, why you do this postgraduate? So most of them will say that I want to get a better jobs. I want the jobs means maybe you become a professor or become a senior lecturer in certain universities. So that was the common answer. So we can get promotions. Many of them will say that. Like if you are a government servant, you were so-called working in IPTA or you're working in the government sectors. When you get a PhD or masters, you will get higher ranks. Now we can get lots of money. Some students say that because by having some knowledge in the research, now people know you. When you write a books or you give a lectures, then people will pay you. They will get lots of money. Or if you say that we do research because we want our children to live in a better world. Few of them. Some of them say, so my country is a little bit better, socially, politically, economically, and environmentally. It's a nationalistic. For some Islamic people, they will say that, so that I can have my ibadah. Ibadah means you have your sedekah for the future generations. There's one or two of them, only few of them. So, let's ask ourselves, why do we do our research? Like that, Dr. Sri is already finishing that. When you're reflecting back your previous research. Okay, next. Okay. How are we going to start the research? When the first day my students come in my rooms, the first question that I would like to ask them is that, what would you like to be in 10 years down the road? What do you want to be? Some of them, you might want to be a professor, maybe you want to be a director, you want to be self-employed, prime ministers with capitals, maybe living in Hawaii without any economic or financial considerations. The person who set things right about something, there's some of them are saying that I want to be somebody who actually do things right for the communities. So that was the questions. This question is very important because as a supervisor, it's your responsibilities to know what is the pathway for your students in the futures. Okay. The question, welcome to TSC. So, after 10 years, I will have another lectures, maybe in 2 or 3 weeks after this. The lecture, the title was Supervising the Supervisors. That was the title. So, this is a must question that you need to ask. Because we, as a supervisor, we have responsibilities to bring our students to whatever the dreams that they want to be in 10 years time or 5 years time. So that was the question. So you can understand very clear what are the direction they are heading to. Okay. Next question. After that, what is your main interest? What do you want? What is your interest? We haven't talked about topics yet. What's your interest? Some of them are interested in something technology. I wanted to do research to empower these equipments by using these equipments, measuring the temperature, measuring the lightings. These are some of the samples. All philosophicals. Some of them, like one of my students, you want to know what is actually Prophet Mos based on hadith and sunnah, history based on hadith and based on the sirah history. Okay. Is it during that time what is actually happening? Is the hadith say something like this? At the same time, the sirah say something like this. So what's actually is happening there? It's a lot of issue there. Like for example, like women's prayers area. In some countries, when they talk about women, they put aside. If you go to Bangladesh, one of my friend, he has Dr. Mastos, he has a project in Bangladesh when they say women's prayer room shouldn't be in the mosque. So, is it that if those are the things happening during the Prophet's times? We do not know. So, based on Sirah and that was philosophical. Philosophical means you think something is right, it has to be done like that, then you are proposing those kind of research. Okay. So, talking about histories, like one research that I managed to encounter was walk-up apartment in Kuala Lumpur. There's one research on walk-up apartment in Kuala Lumpur. The development of walk-up since the PWD, maybe you never heard PWD, Public Works Departments during the British times. There's a different type of typology, so they're more historical. Some of them is management. This is within the management and how you actually manage certain issues and certain things in the certain areas. Okay, next. Okay, the third question that I normally ask to my students is that, what are you good at? Okay, you hebat. What is the things that you are good in doing? Some people they are good at adventuring in the forest. They like to go to the forest. Good. Some people they don't want to go to the forest. Some people they want to sit in the rooms comfortably and reading books. So readings, talking to the people, traveling, those are the things that some of us might be good in one side. Some people might not be good in the other sides. So the third question that we need to ask to the student is that what's the thing that you're good at, so that we can directly what kind of methodologies they're going to use. Okay. This is the fourth question is very important. So most of the supervisors they miss this question. What do you have access to? This is very important. When do you want to start research? You want to study a master or you want to study PhD? I always say to my students, never enter a tunnel when you cannot see the light at the end of the tunnels. You never go out from the tunnels. So if you think that there is one thesis, talking about the history of parliament buildings in Malaysia. He was doing a comparative analysis. Why the parliament building was like that? Our parliament buildings. So the researcher has gone through a lot of minutes in the parliament. So the first question that we ask is that, do you have the access to that file? Oh no, my brothers was working at the parliament, you go to the archive. So remember that when you start research, you must ensure that you have access to do that, to that file. Like for example, 20 years company performance bulletin. If you are CEO of companies, you have that access, that's important. Some like Putra Malaysia or Anwar or Pakatan, whatever is that. Class secret account, lecturers evaluation result. This is the office of Deputy Dean of Dr. Joe's office and this one. So if somebody, if let's say one of Dr. Joe's students want to do the research, he can use that as the data. Because it's very important. No point of doing research when you cannot access the information. So if you think you can access information, just get rid of research. You can finish it after 10 years for masters. So sometimes this is not the proper way. Okay? Policy report. Not many people have access to policy report. So, but some last time we have there's one research that I've done when I was in the private universities. We do research on this. Children fell down from the high-rise buildings. So we want to see the report. In the Negeri Sembilan, they say it's more than 80s for the last 2 years, 3 years. They have more than 80 cases, 80. So a lot. So we go to the police, can we see the report where it's happening, so we can interview the victims and so it's classified. So it's okay, we can access that. But some other students, they can access that. So it's very valuable. So next. So it's very important. Now you can ask, what's the topics? It's better to find a topic with data easily available than to have a topic with data yet to be gotten. This is important because master of a PhD is actually a structured knowledge. It's an exercise. Some people misunderstood it as the highest achievement of academics. Some people thought that. But in my opinion, based on my experience, it's an exercise. It's an exercise, structured knowledge for you to. You haven't played your soccer yet. Yeah. You keep bear in mind, you have a PhD, you haven't played your soccer until you join the academics, then you do research, you write the books, you supervise student, then you join the soccer. Before that, you just have a license to play a soccer. That's all. So, PhD or master is basically an exercise to play a soccer, to become an academics. So, first rule is that PhD or master should be finished within the time. Some people, it is a big myth in Indonesia. I'm from Indonesia. There's a big myth saying that master which was done less than 5 years is not a master. PhD which is not finished in 10 years is not a PhD. That was the myth in Indonesia. That's why some of my friends, I keep telling them it's very difficult to do PhD or master in Indonesia. To be honest with you, number one is that because the professor was super duper busy, they have there's a lot of commitment outside, and some of them are also engaged in the government or they have their own practice. It's very difficult to catch. The resources also very minimum. Internet link is also difficult. And the third one, because the mentality is that minimum, the fastest, based on my experience, the fastest time to do master in Indonesia was 2 years. It was the minimum time. I rarely found anyone finished less than 2 years. PhD normally was 4 years to 5 years. It was the normal time. 3 years was very good. So Malaysia is somehow was better in that sense because we have our research system, supervision system, which was faster than that. Next one that you need to do then, you need to find a supervisor. For the students, you need to find a dedicated supervisor. I was lucky that I have a very dedicated supervisor. My supervisor was killer supervisor. He always, every day he gives me like 10 to 15 tasks. Today you have to do this, it's not the thesis one. Sometimes you have to pick up the kids from school. Sometimes you have to Okay, Nangkula, today I want you to do once is you have to do summary of this book. Second one, you must produce a poster for this one. So every day is 10 to 15 tasks. And the good things about him is that he is fast reader. You read very fast, like you did. You read very fast. You give a draft, 2 days he will call you. Hey, I read your draft already, then I believe you need to do 1 to 3 things. Every time you give a draft, he will send you less than weeks. That was his commitment. And he always asking about your research every day. So how was your progress? I'm not doing that. How was your progress? Is it? Do you have problems? Sometimes he give you books. He give me books, but very thick books. Okay. Tomorrow, the day after that, he will call me. Nangkula, so how was the books? I just did the cover and introduction, Prof. Oh, you are too slow. You have to finish it by today. So, every day always like that. That forced me to finish the thesis as soon as possible because it's not saying like an hell. It's very difficult to keep the burden. So, Alhamdulillah, I finished my masters in 2 semesters. It's a bit. Can you see? Alhamdulillah, I finished my masters actually in 6 months, and my PhD in 2.5 years. Alhamdulillah. So I'm writing a books on that. I think I will share with you guys later. So the supervisor should teach you to learn and train to be a scholar. That was the idea. So scholar means you have. You see, the responsibility of scholars is that you do whatever necessary to document knowledge, and you do whatever necessary to disseminate knowledge. That is the responsibility of academician and scholars. Okay. So, in the forms of doing research, in the forms of presenting in seminar, in the form of engaging with the communities, that was the ideas. Okay. Next. Okay, this is very, very important for starting a research in social science. Most of the supervisor, they miss this part, like before. What is first, before you start a research, you need to know the big picture. The big pictures. Like, I think 2 days ago, I was becoming the examiner for one research, a very nice thesis in UKM. Done by Nur Hayati. He was writing a typology thesis on typology of Negeri Sembilan House in Rembau. She was doing a data collection of 600 traditional house in all the village. So it's a big, massive data. He was a lecturer in one of the polytechnics. She did a very massive data. He go door to door. With the whole bunch of ketua kampung semua, so he do the data collection. He collected 600 data, 600 houses, including interviewing the owners and taking pictures and measure drawing of the that was Dr. Masto's students. So I said it was excellent, very good. I think the Viva took only like 10 minutes, something like less than 10 minutes, very fast. Because the examiner said, good, very good, well done. But I asked one question before the starting of the Viva. I asked her, why we need to document this Rembau's house? Why we need to document this traditional house? It will be gone, disappearing. Yeah, why? He didn't answer the question, why we need to sayang lah, it's nice, it's cantik, it's very nice house. So if we lose this house, yeah, but why? Is it something to do with the Malaysian economy? Something to do with the politics of Malaysia? Something to do with religion in Malaysia? Okay. So I give a hint for her lah. How about tourism? What do you think about tourism? For example, if people come to the Bismillah, to Rembau, what they would like to see? Of course they want to see the traditional house. Okay. So if you go anywhere, of course you want to see the traditional house. If tourism comes, the tourism industry go up. What will happen with Malaysian economies? It will go up. Okay lah. Then that is your bigger pictures. You need to see the bigger pictures. Why we need to do this? The sad thing is that these big pictures normally not sitting in architectures or in your field. It's normally sitting in the social. It's about social, it's about political, environmental, or economics. Sometimes religious. So these big pictures. Some people they did start research starting with gaps. We normally start with gaps. Everybody, no one's have done it before, so I want to do that. I saw a very sophisticated thesis on thermal comfort. You do research, I think 500 or 700 house. But the research is only about you have some shading device. Some people use 30 degrees. This research was talking about 35 degrees. So he was doing experiment a lot on changing from 30 degrees to 35 degrees. So I said, okay. So when I was become one of the examiners, I said, oh, I don't think that will contribute a lot to the people. Maybe, but what's the big picture? That's what I asked them. Yeah, but before everybody doing 30 degrees, why is 35 degrees? Yeah, but what is the bigger picture? So most of the people are losing this one, this anchor to the bigger picture. So you, especially PhD, you must have the anchors so that it's easily. I give you an example. The big pictures is drug abuse among the teenagers. That was the issues lah. When there are lots of teenagers using drugs. We have issues related with that. Whether you want to anchor it into school education, government enforcement, corruption, efficiency of rehabilitation, parental guides, and many more. So, let's say you are concerning about school education. You need to write a few things related with school education. For example, like moral curriculum, counseling activities, school disciplinary policy, or co-curricular activities. Those are the subs of it. Okay, next. Let's say you are focusing only on moral education. Now you can write some aspect about moral education, syllabus contents, pedagogical instruction, or actual implementation. So there are 3 stages. Now you can have topics. So, critical analysis of moral studies curriculum with respect to drug abuse. That was sometimes we use the content analysis because we're looking at the curriculums. We're looking at what the content of curriculums is related with drug abuse. So, bigger pictures was the drug abuse. You will have focusing on certain issues. Okay? An evaluation of effectiveness of moral study in relation to drug abuse. You can do a survey on that. So, you have a moral studies in the class. Is it effective? You do a survey. From let's say 500 students, how many of them actually recover from drugs, or they are not involved in drugs? So those are the. Or you can have research like a comparison between urban and village student with respect to moral study and drug abuse experience. So one student may be coming from urban context, the other one coming from the village. So how was the experience? Participant observation. So you experience. What are the experience? Next. Teachers evaluating teachers' attitude in moral studies on drug use. There would be an interview. You interview the teacher. What was the things? Or you can go something philosophical. A review of education policies with respect to moral studies and drug abuse. You go to the government looking at what are the policies that we have now. Do a comparative with other countries maybe, and you will have those kind of problems. Or you can have a very historical one, very light one, an historical description of development of moral studies in relation to drug abuse. Maybe starting from 1900 or 1908, people are starting introducing this subject. And is that affecting the drug abuse in schools? So you see, from one big pictures, you can have different channels of topics, as long as you understand the bigger pictures. But you need to understand the bigger pictures lah. That's very important, which is related to moral, with the social issues in the countries. Okay, next. We have different categories in research. Based on my experience supervising students in social science, I encounter these 3 types of research lah. But there are lots of other types of research that you can find. I can give the sample after this. What is related to philosophical? Philosophical is that I think it should be like this. You have some values that you want to impose to them. Like I think Naim's not here. Naim's thesis on his masters or something like that. He thought that mosque supposed to be community development centers. It must actively involve in communities. So he believed in some things, and he want to impose that belief into some sort of regulations. But of course, it's kind of difficult because you have to put a lot of arguments to support your philosophical approach. Okay. The next one, I say it's easier one. We call it historical. Historical means what happened, when, and why. Some people, we are lacking of this kind of research in Malaysia. To be honest with you, like for example, I was doing a research on Masjid Negara. So we have so-called histories of Masjid Negara, but to be documenting what actually happening during that time is not easy to find because the design of Masjid Negara was very different if you compare to Masjid Putra. So there are two, say, socio-political and cultural approach, which was totally different. And if you compare Masjid Negara to parliament buildings, also there's a big difference. And our parliament building is not the first parliament building, for information. It was the third one. When I did the research on parliament building, first day I go with one of my friends. Sir, Chief, we want to go in and we want to capture some data. We want to take some pictures. Okay, you have 1 minute. 1 minute from the gates to the parliament building. You haven't only reached half. Okay lah, go out, tak boleh masuk. Then after that, my supervisor, Prof, he was knowing somebody, and then somebody bring him to the parliament building. They put this Doric column inside. You go inside, it's terrible. Even the good thing when I go to parliament, when we visit parliament building, they still have this Barcelona chair during that time, Barcelona chair, museum chair, and they have a lot of furniture from during that time. So it's still a modern in the sense that in terms of design, and they did a lot of not called renovation. They add lots of things inside. It's happened in parliament building. It happened in Masjid Negara. If you go to Masjid Negara, the whole mihrab. When I visit Masjid Negara 2003, there was still very original. Even though some have new. Now you go inside Masjid Negara, it's totally different. It's now become like Masjid Putra. It was not the original form. Okay. So historical. We are lacking of historical research in Malaysia, which explain what is actually happening during that time. And of course we know that we understand that history is always be is not such thing as a neutral history, because the historian itself he or she will bring his own agenda. Like if you read David Waking, the right of architectural histories, he was saying that the histories of Gothic architectures in Europe, late 18th and 19th centuries, was very much influenced by the development of this. Before that, European was very religious. Then with the development of secular approach, then you will see the difference. So David Waking was giving an idea that some historian, like he keeping an X. He's showing the X, sometimes he hide the X. It depends on their needs. If they want to propose the idea of Gothic architecture as the best architecture in Europe, they will show the X. Gothic was good because Michelangelo, when he designed thing, he giving the best expression of Islam with the gods. But when they want to show something like Renaissance architecture, you will keep the X. Renaissance architecture is actually a product of businessmen, so it always happens. But it's very important for us to have some research on it. We have some data. The third type of research that I encountered was behavioral. Behavioral means you are evaluating certain behavior on some things. For example, one of the research that I encountered was Nastaran's research, one of my students. He was doing on community centers. It's one of the samples of a very difficult thesis. I keep asking him to evaluate the design of community center. He said, okay, no, I look for any papers in Malaysia. I only find your papers. I cannot find any more papers. So I cannot do anything. So I said, okay lah. Finally, he gave a research on the people perceptions toward the community centers. So he interviewed people, he see what are their attitude when going to community centers. I think it's quite interesting lah, in the behavior. So it's kind of behavioral studies of it. Well, this is the three type of that I managed. Yes, there's a lot of other type of research. I give you examples. There's one research in the States. He was doing a research on the Mamluk Mosque. You know Mamluk Mosque? So in some part of the Egypt. So he did research on Mamluk Mosque, and he found out that actually people only feel the environment of Mamluk Mosque when they are Sufi. So these guys, he go to he embrace Sufi. He become a Sufi for 6 months, 1 or 6 years, 6 months or 1 year, something like that. He embrace Sufi. Then after that, he go to the mosque, only that he can describe. So this is a very interesting methodology. But there was, I think, one of the top university in US, that accept as a PhD. The other research that I encountered, which was very interesting also, done by, I think, in UKM, it was, they are evaluating the banduan, what banduan in English is prisoner. They go to the prison. He was focusing on the domestic crimes. So this guy, he asked the police, okay, you put me in the prison for 2 days. He was in the prison. It's social science. We sit in the prison because you protect me lah. So we see domestic crime. It's not that heavy lah. It's not like bunuh or murder or rape. You just go for the domestic crime. Domestic crime is a crime which was like pecah rumah, robbery, curi kereta. So this kind of when I saw this presenting the research, it was very good. It's very important for us in architecture lah. Because now he has 101 modus operandi on how the theft go inside your house. For example, I give you some sample. We are the banduan, the prisoner. We are really the theft. We are very happy if the person have a big aircon in front of the house. You put your compressor aircon. So we will come within the van, come inside wearing aircon repair. And he said the best time to go to your house is from 9 into 12. That was the best time because no one in the house. So he go there wearing an aircon, then he repair the aircon. While the other guys go inside, they steal everything they need. That's why the aircon guy see everyone's coming. That was the first operandi. Second operandi, they will laugh if you have a very good lounge. In the grass, tree. They will have. Okay, they will bring some trees, water rumput kan. So they will do that. While the other guy come go inside, they will do everything they need lah. And there's a lot of things they explain. You cannot go. You don't have to go from the backs. You need to go from the ups. The roof is the entry points. Most of them. So when I hear the research, wow, this is a very interesting research and very useful for us in architecture. So when you design a house, you can take this one into consideration. Okay, so that will be a very interesting research if you want to go in details. Okay, so there's a lot of type of social science research, but this is the 3 types that I've encountered during my experience as a supervisor. Okay, next. There are different type of purpose when you do the research. One is that you want to document something in descriptions. You want to know something, you describe it. Second one is that you want to do some evaluations. whether this one is what is the level? Green Building Index. What was the level in Malaysia? The idea of One Malaysia concepts. What was the acceptance of the people? Sometimes you are putting a suggestion or recommendation. That's why in social science, normally when you put an objective of the research, sometimes you put one is to identify, to recognize, something like that. So to identify the first objective. Second objective, you evaluate something, you analyze something. And the next one, whether you evaluate, or you do recommendations. Those are the steps. In other field of research, like engineering or science research, sometimes they only have one objective. One of my friend, a professor in engineering faculty UPM, he was telling me that my student only handle one objective only in thesis for masters. For PhD, normally they have 2 or 3, maximum 3 lah. They won't allow people to do more than 3 objectives. But when I say what is the objective, for example, one of my friends, he is doing research on the cap of carburetor, mechanical engineering. What are you doing? I am experimenting the best material for carburetor caps. PhD. You are, but it's very difficult. You have to experiment testing the material, put in the lab, put the very expensive, but it's only cap for carburetors. What was wrong with current caps? No, the current one is not so effective for the cars. I think it's not that I'm not belittling other research, but what is the big pictures? We don't have big pictures in engineering. Just do things. You have a problem, then you do it. Okay lah. So maybe there's a different. I keep telling myself there's a different type of research that you do. Like some engineering also looking at social science in a different ways. You see the core of some scientific experiment. They call the research methodologies. You must do your process correctly. Otherwise, you get a different result. So, if you're looking at us, in social science, you have so many unpredicted factors, like humans. When you do the questionnaire, you cannot predict the humans because the educational backgrounds, the income, the way they live, their perception on things, their family backgrounds, there will be a different. It will give a different result. So they say social science has too many things to cater, which is not very promising as academic works. That was the word that we keep saying. I will not go doing that. So, but it's a different ways of doing research, and it's good that we are respecting others in terms of doing that. Next. Okay. Then after you remember in social science, based on my experience, issues is the most important. You need to find the issues, you need to find the bigger pictures, you need to find why you do the research. Then we talk about how to do the research. So there are different type of approach and methodologies that people use. And I understand some of us might not be familiar with it, but when you did your masters, after you finish your master or PhD, and sure you are familiar with it, you know how to differentiate. Because some students still they are not able to differentiate. Okay, now first they call it observations. Participant observation or observation. I mean you're observing something. It was the first methodology that normally people use. Second one, they call it focus group discussions. You call up an expert, you conduct workshops, they will give a recommendation and you note down them. So that was the second ways. Opinion surveys, because sometimes they call it questionnaires. You distribute questionnaires. So it's different between questionnaire and observation. Boleh ya? Boleh bezakan ya? Can you differentiate? Jangan, I cannot allow you to graduate master without able to differentiate it. Okay. Content analysis of text. Content analysis of text means, for example, if you see the curriculums, you want to evaluate the curriculums of certain universities, then you can see, okay, what are the law. When you want to develop a guideline, you need to see others' guideline. Like the conservation, you need to see Budak Carta, you need to see some of the conservation acts in Malaysia and other countries. So text. I was doing content analysis of text when I was doing my masters. I was doing research on Frank Lloyd Wright. So I found like 20 books of Frank Lloyd Wright. Only book written by Mr. Frank Lloyd Wright. Not the book written by somebody else. Because they have a hundred of books, or thousands of books about Frank Lloyd Wright. But books written by him. So I managed to encounter Genius of Democracies, Living Cities. So I read the books cover to cover. Then I try to understand what's inside. So then we try to extract what are the philosophies that he tried to propose. During that time, I was comparing with Islamic architecture's approach. So maybe if we have another time, I will explain to you what I found. But reading text to text is not easy, especially for those who don't like to read. So I make my time every time in the morning before with nasi lemak. I read. While eating you read. Before sleep you read. So at one time, one of my friends, who is this Frank Lloyd Wright guy? I always keep the books in the room. Oh, Frank Lloyd Wright. So I said, okay, I am doing a thesis on him. Oh, okay. That's why I see lots of books of him. And some of the book is very difficult to find in Malaysia. I was lucky because I did it at UTM. UTM library was one of the best library in terms of collections of architecture books. Okay. You have philosophical constructs. If you want to construct some approach, yes, you can have some manifestos. If you go to politics, become manifestos. If you go to thesis, it become philosophical constructs. You have to construct some philosophy approach by referring to academic knowledge. Okay. Also, you can have a social experiments. Like you want to test on something. How does people behave when we give? Let's say you want to test the game, Pokemon Go games, impact to the community. You play the games and you show them. Okay. So we can do a social experiment to show that what was the social impacts of that games into the communities. Okay. So it's more. The second one is more towards the like an engineering or science, but you did it on social science, which is I think lots of people are doing that now. Next. Okay. So that's all the basic knowledge that I can share today. Okay. What the things now? The third things that most of the supervisor miss is this one. Remember the first one that most supervisor miss was asking what you already have. That's the first one. Second one is that they always miss what is the big pictures. The third one they always miss is that what to do after research, after you finish your studies. I was lucky. I'm having a supervisor which was engaging me in supervising students. I started supervising when I was a master student. So my supervisor, okay, let's say you are a student. Now, what do you think about Sri's thesis? Okay, I think it's interesting. What do you think about the methodologies? Do you think the issue is enough or not? Okay, I think it's enough. It's PhD. Prof is PhD thesis, I don't know. No, you must try and start to learn. So a good supervisor always do that. Sometimes when he has a student for Viva, now you read thesis, you give your opinions. I give some of my students the report. What to see, what to write in the report. So most of the time he didn't use it. When I give him, Prof, this is my report. This is report. I think the student should get minor corrections because of this. You did it, okay. But then the next day I found another report in the table. It was his report. It's a major question. So I said, Prof, it's different with the one I gave you. Of course not, you're not experienced. So you need to, but what I would like to do that, for you to be experiencing as a supervisor, I was very lucky because of he engaged me with the student. So as a supervisor, it's good that if you engage your student in supervising another student, so you have the experience, exposure. And I always get exposed into some issues. Some students get plagiarism issues. Please write in Malay. I cannot write in Malay. My Malay is bad. Then come the draft. Oh, this all copy paste. The English was too good to be true. I'm an American graduate with British when I did my PhD. I definitely this is not Malaysian student writing like this. It's too good to be true. So I get experience. I don't have any documentation, but I can send it. So he gave it to me and I sent it. So that was a good experience. It's exposed you into a lot of things. I was lucky also that my supervisor involved me in applying business grant. So when I was a student, now can you apply one FRGS for me? About what, Prof? You see the parliament buildings in related, so I just say it. I just thought that, okay, then can I have it tomorrow's the draft? Okay, I just write whatever I can. When I give them, okay, then I know exactly how to fill in the FRGS form, the PRGS form, the LRGS form. So that was the trainings. So it's if your supervisor was asking you to write the forms, use that opportunities because it gives you the. So things happen is that when most of the people they finish the PhDs, masters sometimes they have another objective which is finishing PhD. But when you finish your PhD, then you don't know what to do. Most of the people like that, most of the academic like that. When I see them, I don't know lah, but okay lah, kita tulis journal lah, but what are the bigger agenda that you want to do? When you did your master or when you did your PhD, actually the most important is that you already know how to develop your knowledge. Like you're expert, like me, I was doing research on Islamic architectures, on mosque design. So after this I know exactly my student will do this, my student will do this, my student will do this. You do some research on this. So we have the bigger pictures and we have some ideas of it. But most of the lecturers, when they finish PhD, they don't know what to do. I really get my highest achievement in research. Then what to do? Doctor lah. So that's why I was surprised that some of the academicians, when they finish PhD, they still a doctor until 2 years, until 2 or 3 years. They're still a doctor. You know what I mean by doctors is that the ego of doctor is still maintained in them. I was experiencing, I know everybody when you finish PhD, you have the egos, yeah? Oh, I was the best, I was graduating. But for me, it lasts for 3 months, 3-4 months. So after that, I saw, oh, there are people, that person is doing this. Wow. So I know that there's a lot of limitation within the thesis. But some people, it goes up to 3 years, 4 years, considering himself as the best person. No, I think it's not healthy and it's not for your future. So the real work begins after you finish your PhD. Once after you finish your PhD, only then your work begins. You have your license to play soccer. Before this, you cannot play soccer because some of the you see PhD or masters is opening into bigger realm in the academics. Now you can go international collaboration. You can have your research grant. Now you have your postgraduate students. Now you can be able to supervise master or PhD students. So the real works actually start when you start finishing your PhDs. That is the one when you okay, now I'm on it. So now you are dealing with it. Research for master is simply to get your hands dirty doing some queries. So just some exercise so that you can actually come up with some proposal or some evaluation so that at least you know how to do a research. Research for PhD prepares a person to be young scholar and apprentice supervisor. That is the most important. So when you get your PhD, it's very important that you can supervise students. And the successful, I always keep telling my supervisor that your values, you will become a good academician or good PhD holder when you can graduate another PhD which was better than you. That was the parameter. The parameter, we are not playing with Guru Silat approach. In our culture, we have our Guru Silat. Guru Silat is that mentality is that when you teach somebody, you don't want to teach all because you're afraid that the student will defeat you at the features because of the knowledge. So you just from 10 you can give it 9. So the last knowledge you have to keep it just in case your student attacking you. But no, in academic world, we must we consider success when our student is better than us. That's why my supervisor is telling me, oh, nah, oh, you good, huh? You get your PhD when you was 27. I'm getting my PhD when I was 35. So I'm making a good student. So I was successful. So the parameter to say you're successful is not when you are performing a good thing. So I'm not success until now because I haven't produced a student which was better than me. So I'm considered a failed supervisor until now, not yet success. When so my professor said, oh, nah, you are becoming Professor Madhya when you was 34, 35. I was having it when I was 39. So I'm a good supervisor. Prof Tadi always say that I'm good. I was a good supervisor. He was very proud. So now until now I haven't been proud for that lah. My best student was Badia. Badia is the but still is now he become the assistant professor in the University Eastern Mediterranean. He published 60 papers in journal every semester. not in 3 years. Every semester I will write. Every week come to me, Prof, I submitted these 3 papers in the journal. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Submitted, accepted, Prof. I didn't pay. She only see me when she has to pay the journals. Okay lah. Have you checked the grammar? Oh, it's okay, sir. I check it for you. Oh, let me read it first. I read it lah, but this is good. Some of them is not very good English, but he was performing in a good way. Okay. So a supervisor or professor or lecturers is the one who's mastermind the knowledge.
Check from next step.
So they contribute.
So he is the person who mastermind the knowledge construct. So you as a supervisor, you have to start masterminding the knowledge. Where your knowledge was heading. For example, if that I will give you a example of mine. When you talk about Islamic architectures, the most prominent approach was Aga Khan, the one from Iranian. The Aga Khan award for architectures. But there is another award, another movement which is from Arabic worlds, which was they call it Arab. The term that is for 3 years was Arabic Islamic approach in the Islamic architecture. So these two movements is the biggest in the world. When I start my understanding the bigger pictures of Islamic architecture, not many actually coming from this region, Malaysia and Indonesia, not many. So I say okay, then that was my focus. So that's why I'm setting up a center of Islamic architecture from the Sunnah in Win, Malang, center of Islamic architectures in Surakarta, and we have some other centers that moving on center for mosque and Islamic development in this region. The objective is that for us to develop our Islamic architectures within this region. Because for example, if you talk about mosque design, most of them referring to the Middle East because they believe that the Middle East mosque is somehow more Islamic than us. So I was gifted. There's one workshop. I was giving them one Middle Eastern mosque, and this is Masjid Kampung to the Imam. Between these two mosques, which one is you think is better? So the layman will say the Middle East was solat you pray inside is more than yang ini kampung lah, nanti sebenarnya kampung dia tak berapa, the spirit is not there. So this for layman. So that I say, is that true? As far as I know, the only 3 mosques which was granted a better pahala is Masjid Nabawi, Masjid Haram, and Masjid Assoc. Only these 3 is the one who give you better one. And it's not because of the mosque, it's because of the location, it's the setting, the place. So if you move the Masjid Nabawi to Malaysia, the pahala might not be the same. Because of the place, the Holy Spirit place. That's why it's different. But so I tell you, so praying in this one is the same. But I tell you that, but if you pray into this mosque, you say this mosque requires how many million to build? What? To maintenance? Do you have any expertise in menggilap build up this marble. So we don't have the expertise. Like if you go to Turkey or another part of the world, they have expertise on that. We don't have the expertise. How to maintain it, definitely high cost. With our culture, with our name, our environment, it will be different. So if you compare this one maybe like 1 billion ringgit to build, this one maybe only 100,000, 200,000. So like the Master was complaining about these two competition, ego competition. He go with the box center. Box center in Cameron Highlands. He was one of the architects doing box centers lah. And he was competing with the Masjid Kiai. Masjid Kiai was 100 million. Box center is like 2 or 3 million. So comparing this Goliaths and David, it's very difficult to compare. So that's not the thing. So we need to mastermind the things in our field, so that we know what is this field is heading to. So in my field, I'm going to bring it into more regions. If we're talking about Nusantara, what other requirement in here, etc. Compared to that.